All right, when is the next real estate correction going to occur in the city of Vancouver or in the Canadian housing market here? Many predictions and prognostications over the years. I get a lot of you guys in the comment section. We're going to get a bad correction here, whether it's 20, 30, 50. Some of these guys evidently think the market's going to come down 80%. You get these predictions every now and then. Not really a week goes by where I haven't seen some realtor or some industry insider or mortgage broker or economist say, hey, we're on the cusp. We're going to get a severe recession here in whether that's 2021, 23, 25, 2028, whenever. These predictions come and go. I remember back in COVID, the chair of the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, a guy by the name of Evan Siddall, this is way back during COVID, he said, don't trust your realtor. You do not want to be buying real estate in this market. The prices are going to correct, severe correction here. Of course, what he didn't foresee was the floor falling out from underneath interest rates and prices going on an unprecedented bull run, especially in markets like the Fraser Valley, where there was a bit more affordability there. I've been telling you guys for years, there are so many variables from interest rates to market sentiment to federal and provincial politics, taxation, government policies. All these things are going to impact real estate in the short term. There are just way too many variables. You don't know when the next correction is going to happen or how severe it's going to be. The reason I know that is because I don't know. You don't have any kind of predictive powers that I don't possess here. So what we do know for sure, though, is at some point we will get, no question about it, we will have a correction in the Vancouver housing market, just like we'll get corrections in the Toronto housing market. Corrections are normal, they're healthy, they're part of a free market system, and you do get them once in a while. Usually, in my experience, it's between about 5 and 15%. It usually recovers in a few years. Sometimes you get something more severe. Early 1990s, 2008 financial crisis would be an example of that, where you get something more severe. But that is the cost of doing business. And if you're not comfortable with that, it's no different than investing in the stock market. If you think real estate's volatile, try investing in stocks, far more volatile. And that's, if you want any kind of decent return on investment, you're going to have that short-term volatility and fluctuations. That's just the cost of doing business. If you're not comfortable with that, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you could put your money in GICs, guaranteed investment certificates, but I'll tell you right now, you will not keep up with the pace of inflation. Your earning power is going to be getting crushed each and every year, especially over the last few years, where we've seen inflation numbers, believe peaked at about 8%. Thankfully, that's coming down now. But first of all, first point I want to make here, for prices to come down materially, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the result of higher interest rates like we've seen in 2023 and 2024. So yes, the prices might be off. I believe at one point during the pandemic, we were off about 10%. But your monthly payments are going to be substantially higher. That's going to more than offset that. So it doesn't really impact affordability all that much, if any. The next point I would make here is usually when we get these larger corrections, it tends to be in the upper echelon of the housing ladder. So, and that's not where most of you guys are at. Most of the people that are concerned about a correction tend to be looking to get into an entry-level 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom condo or maybe a 3-bedroom townhome. They're not in that rarefied atmosphere of buying an $18 or $20 million penthouse or sub-penthouse in Cole Harbour. That's where you're going to see the 1-bedroom condo market, 2-bedroom in particular, entry-level bread and butter of the market, that very rarely goes into a buyer's market. Sometimes we get into more balanced conditions. Most of the time you're in a seller's market. That is always going to be pretty well insulated. I'm going to say basically bulletproof from any economic condition. We're just never going to have enough supply. But these commentators, they're all under these anonymous pseudo names. You don't know who they are. They kind of come and go. I get a lot of their comments on my channel. I remember for a while there, it was COVID. COVID's going to crash the market. Then it was the war in Ukraine. Then it was this Evergrande Chinese developer going under. That was going to somehow create shock waves and bring down the Canadian real estate market. More recently, and it's the same guys, they're talking about the latest headwind, which is the 25%. Trump is talking about these tariffs here, which would absolutely deal a hammer blow to the Canadian economy if that ever happened. The Canadian loonie here down at 70 cents on the dollar. We've got political uncertainty. Chrystia Freeland just resigned. Good riddance as far as I'm concerned. Who knows? By the time I post this video, Trudeau may have resigned as well. Probably not. But my point is here, these things come and go. At some point, you're going to need to bite the bullet and just get into the market. And I've had so many of you guys, Jay, I'm just going to wait for a more opportune time. There's a lot of political uncertainty or uncertainty around the interest rates or whatever it might be. Let's wait for that more opportune time to get into the market. And more often than not, what I find is that time never arrives for these people. They're sidelined and they never end up getting into the market. Eventually, they either get priced out either because of the prices or due to the interest rates. And eventually they move further away from Vancouver, whether that's to the Fraser Valley, but a lot of them pack up and leave BC and move to Calgary or Winnipeg. That is the reality. I've seen it happen. You guys commenting on here too, Jay, you're trying to pump up the FOMO, fear of missing out. You're trying to pump up the market. Well, that's fine if you believe that. But most of these guys are never going to own in Vancouver. Brass tacks here. These guys are not going to own in the Lower Mainland. Most of them are commenting under anonymous pseudo-names from their parents' basement. They're not going to own anything. They don't have any RSPs. They don't have any investments to speak of. And yet they're posting on here talking about this impending doom market correction. Listen, it'll happen. Every couple of years, we're going to have a correction. Every few decades, we're going to have something more severe. But again, that is the cost of doing business. If you want to be in real estate, you want to invest in the stock market, you want to get any kind of decent return on your money, you're going to have to kind of get comfortable with that shorter term fluctuations and volatility. Okay? I'm Jay Coupar. Feel free to comment below or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.